You squint at the menu across the restaurant, and somehow the words just won't come into focus the way they used to. There's a quiet frustration there. You reach for your glasses, slip them on, expecting clarity, but something still feels off. Like the world has lost a level of sharpness that once came so naturally, so effortlessly, without you ever having to think about it. At night, headlights coming toward you start to bloom into soft halos, blurring the edges of everything ahead. Without even realizing it, your grip tightens on the steering wheel, your body leaning forward, trying harder to see what should be clear. There's a subtle tension that builds. A quiet awareness that something has changed, even if you can't quite explain when it started. And in the morning, your vision feels slow to wake up, almost like it's lagging behind the rest of you. Sometimes it takes an hour or even longer before things finally settle into focus. You blink, you wait, you give it time. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a question begins to surface: when did this start feeling normal? Maybe you've already seen an optometrist, hoping for answers or reassurance. Maybe your prescription has been adjusted, made stronger, and yet your vision still doesn't feel the way it used to. There's a quiet disappointment in that, a sense that something deeper might be going on beyond what a simple lens can fix. Maybe your eyes feel dry when you wake up, almost gritty, like they've been working all night instead of resting. Heavy, irritated, uncomfortable before your day has even begun. Or you sit down to read, and within minutes there's an aching sensation that forces you to stop, breaking your focus and reminding you that something isn't quite right. Colors that once looked rich and vivid now seem slightly faded, almost washed out, like the world has lost a bit of its vibrancy. And what's unsettling is not just the change itself, but the fact that you can't quite pinpoint when it happened. It feels gradual, subtle, almost invisible. Until one day you suddenly notice it. Here's what most people are never told about these changes: the slow clarity in the morning, the halos at night, the dryness, the fatigue. They're not simply the unavoidable cost of getting older. They're signals, specific and identifiable processes happening inside your eyes right now, quietly shaping the way you see the world. And the most surprising part isn't what happens while you're awake. The real damage, the kind that builds slowly and compounds over time, is happening while you sleep. During the very hours your body has set aside for repair, something isn't working the way it should, especially for many adults over the age of 60. In fact, for most people, Street 60, that nightly repair process is left incomplete. Your eyes become more vulnerable, more exposed to long-term damage. Conditions like macular degeneration, early cataracts, chronic dryness, and retinal strain begin to rise, not suddenly but steadily over time, often without obvious warning signs at first. What makes this even more concerning is how quickly vision loss has been increasing in recent years. It's not just a statistic, it's a growing pattern that demands attention. And what's truly alarming is that much of what's driving this change is happening quietly, behind the scenes, long before symptoms fully appear. Deep inside your eye, at the very back, sits the retina, a thin, delicate layer of tissue where vision actually begins. It's incredibly sensitive, responsible for capturing light and turning it into the images you see. And within that retina are photoreceptor cells, your rods and cones, working constantly to process detail, color, and motion. These cells are among the most active in your entire body, consuming large amounts of oxygen and nutrients every single day. But in doing so, they also generate oxidative byproducts, free radicals, that can slowly damage the very structures responsible for your vision if they aren't properly managed over time. During the day, why? Our eyes rely on antioxidants to help defend against that damage. But at night, when your body shifts into repair mode, your eyes need something more than protection. They need regeneration, a deeper level of restoration that helps reverse the wear and tear accumulated throughout the day. Unfortunately, two key processes tend to interfere with that regeneration in many adults over 60. The first is oxidative stress, a buildup of damage over years that your body gradually struggles to keep up with. The second is glycation, a slower, quieter process that often goes completely unnoticed. Glycation happens when excess sugar binds to proteins in your eye, forming compounds known as advanced glycation end products or AGEs. Over time, these compounds can cloud the lens, stiffen delicate retinal tissue, and contribute to conditions like cataracts and macular damage in ways many people never realize. And here's something rarely talked about: glycation is most active at night, at the exact time your eyes should be repairing themselves. Instead of restoring, they may actually be experiencing more stress. That's where the conversation begins to shift, because research has uncovered something many discussions about eye health never fully address. When your vision starts to change, the solutions you're usually offered are familiar: stronger glasses, eye drops for dryness, blue light filters, maybe even supplements or procedures if things progress. And to be fair, some of these can help to a certain extent, especially in managing symptoms. But there's an important limitation that often goes unmentioned. Almost all of these solutions focus on what you see during the day. They don't address what your eyes are actually doing at night, during the most critical hours when repair and recovery are supposed to take place. A stronger lens can improve how light enters your eye, but it doesn't slow the internal processes affecting your retina. Eye drops may soothe the surface, but they don't resolve the underlying cause of dryness. Even many supplements struggle with absorption, limiting how effectively nutrients reach the eye tissue. Research continues to show that age-related vision changes begin deep within the eye, driven by oxidative damage and glycation, and these processes tend to accelerate overnight, precisely when your eyes should be at their strongest in repair. That's where the real issue lies, and where most solutions simply don't reach. But newer findings are pointing towards something surprisingly simple, something often overlooked. It's not a complex treatment or a high-tech solution. In fact, it's something you can find in most grocery stores, something your eye doctor may have never even mentioned in your conversations. My name is Dr. Nicole Harper, and for years I've worked with adults over 60, helping them protect their vision using evidence-based natural approaches alongside traditional care. What I'm about to share with you is centered around one specific fruit, something many people underestimate. This fruit has been studied for its potential to support your eyes during those critical nighttime hours of repair. It may help counter oxidative stress, reduce the effects of glycation, deliver key nutrients directly to the areas of your vision that need them most, in a way that's both simple and natural. I'll also walk you through exactly how to eat it, when to include it in your routine, and the small mistakes that can reduce its benefits without you even realizing it. But before we go further, it's important to understand why some of the most obvious choices don't always deliver the results people expect. Because once you see what those options fail to address, the real answer becomes much clearer. The fruit I'm about to show you works in a very different way, with a more targeted approach supported by emerging research, offering something beyond what you've likely heard before. And that fruit is papaya.